News, my lovely, wonderful people. The UK courts laments greediness of Nigerian officials in and P&ID scam. Yes, we heard that Nigeria won that very court case. However, this is what the UK government have got to say. And it's quite sad if you really want to ask me, or we should look at this very critically. It's very sad because looking at it all and bringing things to perspective, it just shows exactly, where we are at and what these people, what the kind of mindset that they have and why we should all truly, sincerely make sure that the truth is revealed. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like or share, subscribe. UK court laments greediness of Nigerian officials in P&ID scam. This case has sadly brought together a combination of examples of what some individuals will do for money, the UK court has ruled. On Monday, the Nigerian government dogged having to pay out as much as 11 billion to a British Virgin Island company after a London judge ruled that the approbation award for a failed gas deal was won fraudulently. The judge found that the massive aberration award in favor of Progress and Industrial Development Limited P&ID was stemmed by briberies. The awards were obtained by fraud. Judge Judge Ruby knowledge rules in a ruling on Monday, adding that the way in which the awards were procured was contrary to public policy. Court document shows that Nigeria was able to establish a strong premise face case that the 2010 gas project agreement between the government and P&ID was procured by bribery paid to insiders as part of a larger scheme to defraud Nigeria. While Nigeria won the case, the London court lamented the greediness of some Nigerian officials who would have cost the country 11 billion in damage. This case has sadly brought together a combination of examples of what some individuals would do for money. Mr. Knowledge said after establishing some Nigerian officials collect bribes in the deal. The judge added that these officers were driven by greed and prepared to use corruption, giving no thought to what their enhancement would mean in terms of harm for others. Over the history of the matter, Nigeria has had so many government agencies and individuals involved at different times and in different ways. These include officials in the Ministry of Petrol Resources, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Land and Urban Development, Ministry of Justice, and officers of the Attorney General, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, National Petroleum Investment Management System, and some ministries. The judge concluded that the people of Nigeria have been let down in so many ways over the history of these matters by a member of individuals and particularly the administrations whose duty was to serve them and protect them. However, they have done this for greediness of money. The P&ID deal. In 2010, the P&ID deal won a contract from the Ministry of Petroleum Resources to build a gas processing plant in the southern city of Calabar. Nigeria was to supply the gas for free over 20 years, and two parties will split the proceed resources, but Nigeria never provided the promised gas and the plant was never built. Then P&ID successfully sued the Nigerian government for breach of the contract at the Arbitration Tribunal presided over by Lord Humphrey, a retired senior English judge. The legal disputes between Nigeria and P&ID ran for many decades than a decade. The contract was signed between Nigerian government official Michael Quarry, an island former brand manager, and his business partner Brandy Kanhi to help the West African country turn its vessels reserved of natural gas into power. The project never broke ground. Mr. Queening and Camhill offshore company P&ID in 2012 began aberrations proceedings against Nigeria for breach of contract. P&ID ultimately won a 6.6 billion award from the current. So this is the current disposition of things. P&ID won the 6.6 billion award from a panel in London, one of the biggest known payouts to a company from a foreign state. This bill was raised to 11 billion with interest, more than Nigeria 2023 budget for a health, education, and justice combined. In 2017, Nigeria challenged the award on the grounds of liability and jurisdiction. The Nigerian government accused P&ID of bribery before, at and after the time. The parties entered into the gas supply and proceeding agreement for acceleration gas development, a court document show. It alleged that some of its lawyers at the time of the arbitration include two legal counsel were corrupt by P&ID. But P&ID in his legal findings denied the corruption allegation, arguing that it was a contract which P&ID genuinely wanted to perform and a genuine aberration which Nigeria lost for reasons. This has nothing to do with any corruption. However, on Monday, the judge said that only was the original gas contract turned by corruption, but the P&ID officials also engaged in bribery to win the UK contract. So this is what has gone on so far. And Nigeria won, but I mean, it has put us again in a bad light. Okay, it has put us again in a bad light. This ought not to be, but sadly, those that should represent us, I don't know what they are thinking. Nigeria did won, but I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, and this is why we must continue to fight to have good and real leaders that will stand for us and will defend us as a nation, rather than leaving us out there, just like leaving someone out in the cold on a very rainy and cold day. This is what some leaders have done to this country. It is sad, but this is what is really happening, and why again and again we all should rise up and not allow selfish people to determine what happens to us, because again, the nations of the world, they are watching. Everybody's seeing these things that are going on. And, Tinubu's reputation right now still very much in question at the Supreme Court in Nigeria, with the US set to release files about him. It's not helping, personality check and what have you. So these are some of the things that are going on, and why we all must, ensure that the right things are done. Anyway, my lovelies, it is what it is. And if we want to make sure that Nigeria, turn a new leaf and things become better, there are ways around it. We must speak out and let the rest of the world know that we're not working, with these people to bring about what is currently happening. Please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like us, share, subscribe. Remember that if Nigeria succeed, it's not just going to be Nigeria, it's going to be every one of us succeeding as well. So please leave us a comment. Don't forget, you are important in the scheme of things. Bye for now.